look, after 4 rounds of footy, this isn't exactly the type of video I expected to be making, or to be wanting to make, to have to make, however you look at it. I didn't expect to be doing this type of video this early, but I think it's partially what I need, maybe to vent a little bit. Hopefully, you guys are looking for something like this as well, just for a bit of optimism or whatever it is you're searching for, because we're in an interesting place right now as a club, as a team, our players, etc., etc. So obviously the record, we're 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses, and we have the Sydney Swans up in Adelaide and the D's at the G in our next 2 games. So look, on paper, we're not having the worst of seasons. I mean, currently while recording, Geelong are playing Hawthorn, they're whooping their ass. But they were 0-3, so they're going to be 1-3. So our record technically is still better with the draw in there. So we're not that bad, but I think it's the performances we've put on. I mean, we'll go back to the Carlton game. We should have won that by 4 or 5 goals. We let that one slide. Adelaide, yes, we won by a comfortable margin, but it got bloody close and it never should have been. Collingwood, it was a weird game. I still don't know how I feel about that one. And then the game on the weekend, we know how I feel about that, the Bulldogs game. That was very disappointing, to say the least. So it's those things that hurt. And then with the news straight after the game that Tom Lynch has got a fractured foot now, so he'll miss pretty much a big chunk. I'm predicting 6 to 8. I don't know. It's just a guess, so don't quote me on that. Jack Graham with hamstring. I don't know what the timeline looks like for him. And today, the news that I heard only about 2 hours ago, Toby Nankervis, our co-captain, syndesmosis injury, and he will now be out for the medium term. So it's not a good start. It's not a good start to the year. It's not a good look at the moment. As far as I'm aware, Ivan Soldo's not quite ready to come back from injury. Jaden Short is still injured. Josh Gibcus is still injured. Nathan Broad's still got 2 more weeks left on his suspension as well. So it's trying to find people to slot into positions. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I mean, the cards are definitely stacked against us right now. But I think there's plenty to be negative about, obviously. But I think this is when you're going to try to find the room for positives, and let's sort of focus on those if we can, because it's the only way we're going to get, us as a club and supporters are going to get through this sort of next little period. So I'll give a couple of my suggestions for the way we could shape up and the way we might be able to look the next few weeks. And firstly, I want to start with the fact that I think our kids are playing some seriously good football at the moment. I mean, Noah Cumberland, yes, he made some mistakes on the weekend, but he takes the game on. He's exciting. He's got goal sense. He knows how to find his teammates as well. And I don't know, whenever he's near the ball, I just feel like something tends to happen when Noah Cumberland's near it. So I'm loving what he's doing at the moment. Hugo Ralph-Smith, he's got such great dash off the half-back. He can play up on the wing if he has to as well. And he hits the scoreboard. He knows how to find the goals too. So it's great to have another player like him in our arsenal, up our sleeve. I think he's playing some good footy, and he'll be in our best 22 consistently in the very near future. Juddy Clark is fitting into his role seamlessly. Tyler Sonzi, so clean with the football. You know what you're going to get from Tyler now as well. I just want to see him play some more consistent senior level football. And then you've got Tyler Young, who statistically is ranking up amongst the comp's best backmen. And he's only played 3-4 games, whatever it might be. I think it's 3 games he's only played now. And I think he's doing a great job. I've heard a lot of people talking bad about him, but I don't think there's a lot more he could be doing as a guy that's coming in only playing 3 games of AFL football. So there's him, and then, Morris Jr., despite being omitted on the weekend, he's still a serious talent, and I predict he'll come back into the team, whether it's this week, next week, and get back to his best, hopefully, because it's the only way he's going to keep his spot by playing really good football. So I think we've got some young guys that are coming through that are super talented. You've got Biggie Newen in the VFL that's doing some good things as well. So we've got options. We've got players that can come in and fill roles. Obviously, the ones that we've got, like Tom Lynch, arguably our most important player. Toby Nankervis, our sole ruckman, really. And then Ivan Soldo being the number 2 ruck, you would say, but now he's injured too. So it's an interesting one. We've got plenty to look at, but I'll get into those. But before I do, I want to also touch on our 2 new recruits, Tim Taranto, Jacob Hopper. Yes, they no doubt haven't come in and set the world on fire, but I think the biggest thing you got to remember with these sorts of players as they come into clubs, and not just at Richmond, it's every club they come into, but the length of the contract, the amount money-wise in the contract, and the names of the players, you expect them to come in, and I just think the expectation is so high. And don't worry, I had it too. You immediately think these guys are going to light the world on fire, and Brownlow favourites, etc., etc. And they both had pretty decent preseason form, and it just thinks they're all building. And look, they haven't been, like I said, best in the comp, but they haven't been bad. And I've seen a lot of people saying they're a waste of money, a waste of the contract length, that we were stupid, this and that. It was only 4 rounds in, so give the guys a chance firstly to get used to our system, playing alongside a bunch of new blokes as well. But I read through some of the stats, and this is what they're averaging. And yes, again, they're not amazing stats, but they're there and there's something. So you got Tim Taranto, he's averaging 4 inside 50s a game, 5.5 score involvements, 7.5 tackles, 29 disposals, 11.8 of those are contested, 3 centre and 3.5 stoppage clearances. So yeah, the clearances, I want the numbers probably a bit higher, but he's there, he's winning football as well. And I think the tackles, his pressure was amazing, which is fantastic. His score involvements inside 50s, the disposal count, like he's getting big numbers in disposals. So his efficiency he could probably clean up a little bit, no doubt. I'm not arguing that. And I want him to hit the scoreboard a little more. It was nice to see him kick his first against the Dogs, but there's room to grow. Yeah, I'm not saying there's not, but I'm just, trying to reiterate that they haven't been as bad as what a lot of people are saying in the comments. And I know not everybody shares that opinion, but I've seen it a bit going around. So I wanted to sort of rebuttal that. And then you got to Jacob Hopper. He's averaging 5 inside 50s, 5.3 score involvements, 21.7 disposals with 71% efficiency in those. And he's hitting the scoreboard as well. He's kicked a few goals already this season. And he's arguably our best on ground against the Crows in round 2. So again, I think we were expecting these guys to come in and just be Brownlow medal favourites. The two of them, 1 and 2, Jacob Hopper, Tim Taranto. That was never going to happen. It was never going to be the case. All we could want is they come in and make a difference. And yes, like the Bulldogs is the best example, that we still got beaten up and smashed in clearances and around the ball. And that's where it really hurts, when you see these guys come in for that reason and we still get smashed. Remember, Jack Graham went out of that game early. Cochin came in as a sub. Probably should have been resting. I mean, the club had that opinion anyway. So they're not excuses, but there's just little things that all add up and I think, could play contributing factors. I still don't think is an excuse. We should still not be losing clearances by that. You're not going to win every week, I know that, but you're going to be closer than what we were. So that was disappointing. But I just don't think these guys are letting us down as much as some people think they are. So I wanted to get that off my chest because I love what they can bring and what they've shown glimpses of bringing. And I think it's only a matter of time before they build. And they're going to really have to step up over the next few weeks while we're a little bit battered and bruised. But here's some of the things I think we might be able to do to combat the injuries that we've got. So obviously the big one is Nankervis missing out of the ruck. Who comes in? Because like I said, Soldo's injured. For me, I think Ben Miller could be the man you bring into the team. We've seen him in the ruck before. He can roll forward if he needs to, which would then also help Samson and Jack, because Jack Rewalt no doubt comes back into the side, has to. So he can also go down there and he can almost do a swap with Samson. So he can play forward and Samson rucks, and he can ruck and Samson's forward. And I know we want Samson as more of that permanent forward, but let's be real, it's not going to be able to happen with the injuries that we've got. So that for me can be an option. There's big raps on Big and Ewan in the VFL, like I mentioned before. He could also play a role potentially through the ruck. I heard he's been doing a little bit of that. I haven't been watching my VFL footy, so do let me know if I'm wrong with that. But I have heard, I think might be in the Richmond podcast, they mentioned something like that. So that could be an option. I liked what I saw when Biggie came into the side last year. He showed glimpses as well. Probably just needs that top level experience to really grow and develop, because you can't get better at AFL level until you play at AFL level. And I know it's a big jump, but these are the chances these young guys are going to have to take. When we've got injuries and we're battered, we need these guys to step up for us. So that could be an option. Jacob Bauer is another one who could earn himself a forward opportunity with the absence of Lynch up there. He's played some good football too. So I think we do have options. And like I mentioned, our young kids are doing a great job. I think Noah Cumberland's going to be really vital for us in the forward line going forward. And if I hear Damien Hardwick say again that Dustin Martin and Noah Cumberland can't play in the same forward line or in the same team, the same 22, I'll hit the roof, because I thought they both played great football with each other on the weekend. Dusty was back to, some very good football, and Noah Cumberland had some, great spurts as well. So despite a few mistakes, I thought he was pretty good. So I think they're definitely going to play with each other from now on, because they both create. So anyway, I wanted to get all that off my chest. Hopefully, gives you guys a little bit to think about as well. it looks like it's all doom and gloom for us at the moment. And I was pretty rattled today when I heard about Nank. It's just this club. It does something to me. It's affected my whole day now. My whole weekend, especially after being Saturday, and then we had Sunday and Monday off today, being the public holiday too. So I've had a couple of days to sort of dwell on it, and then the news today hit hard and it shocked me a little bit. But I'm trying to think of positives and ways that we can work around it. I trust Dimmer, I trust the coaching staff, and I trust that the players know that they're going to have to step up and win. We always start seasons slow. That's no surprise, and it's nothing new. But obviously we can't get caught too far behind the pack, because sometimes there's going to be no catching up if we let it go too far. So, look, like I said, we've got the Swans and the D's the next 2 weeks. I said this about the Bulldogs game, that we really needed to win, but geez, to say we need to beat Sydney in Adelaide, neutral territory, is an understatement. We really need to go over there and put on a statement, an absolute statement game. Like, players missing, show that we can still win games of football against quality sides. And I think Sydney's going to be our better chance out of the two teams. But who knows? You get some momentum against the Swans, go in against the D's. You just never know. And I know it's not realistic, but you've got to be positive and believe in the talent that you've got and the talent your club's drafted in. So, look, maybe it's me being a bit optimistic, but I think we have to be in this situation. So it's pretty much it. I got most of that off my chest. That's where I think we go to from here. I think we make some of those potential changes I mentioned. Look to these younger guys to step up and really play a role for us. And, in 2 weeks, Broad will be back. Hopefully Short's back by then as well. Soldo could be good by then. I'm not really too sure. Robbie Tarrant as well, another one I forgot to mention, re-injured in the VFL on the weekend, which is disappointing to see. So there's another one we've got to worry about. But I don't know. I'm hoping it's not all doom and gloom like it looks on paper. And I know we're being written off in the media already, and things are getting spoken about us. But let's try stick fat as a club, as supporter base, and really back our boys in. Because as soon as we start doubting us from within the four walls of the Richmond club, the community, like I said, that's when it really starts to go downhill. So I think it's really up to us as a fan base to sort of lift them up. So that's, like I said, pretty much it. I'll see you all very soon for the Swans preview, which will be interesting. Gather round, which is a big one. Let me know if you're going. Let me know if you're travelling from Melbourne or from wherever, or if you live in Adelaide and you're going. Let me know. It'd be interesting to see if you can get to the game and what the atmosphere and the experience around the Church City is like. So it'd be good to know. But that's it. Until the Swans preview. Speak to you all then. Go Tigers.